The last recording. Chapter 1, The Rise. Emily Wallace was living the life she had always dreamed of. A renowned political journalist, she was respected in the media world, and her investigations had shaken the corridors of power more than once. Her talent for uncovering confidential information had opened unimaginable doors, bringing her closer and closer to the White House. Her rise had been meteoric. From a simple correspondent, she had become a key figure in investigative journalism, gaining access to exclusive circles where state affairs were decided. Her work had earned her enemies, of course, but also powerful allies. And among them, one man had captured her attention like no other, Nathan Carter. Chapter 2, A Perfect Marriage. Nathan was everything she had ever hoped for in a partner. Intelligent, charming, engaged in the same causes as she was, he had appeared in her life at the perfect moment. Their story had been natural, almost too perfect. After a few years together, they had married in an intimate ceremony, away from the public eye. With him, Emily felt safe. Her marriage seemed to be one of the few aspects of her life that was not subject to the pressures of her career. But sometimes, shadows of doubt flickered in her mind, insignificant details, well-placed silences, moments when she felt he was somewhere else entirely. Chapter 3, The Presidential Invitation. A major milestone in Emily's career arrived, an official invitation to the White House. She was to accompany Nathan, who had gained privileged access to influential circles. The couple was at the height of their social ascent, a model of success in the public eye. But that night, everything changed. Just before they were about to leave for the event, Emily realized she had forgotten an important file at her office. Rushed but confident, she left Nathan, promising to join him at the White House soon. Nathan remained at the venue, exchanging pleasantries with the country's most powerful figures. Chapter 4, A Murder with Too Many Suspects. That evening, Emily Wallace was murdered in her office. The news sent shockwaves through the nation. An influential investigative journalist, brutally killed, while her husband was in the spotlight at one of the most high-profile events of the year. There was no shortage of suspects: corrupt politicians she had exposed, powerful corporations she had challenged, criminal figures she had denounced. Everything pointed to a vendetta, and the investigation quickly escalated into a nationwide scandal. Nathan, devastated, became a public figure of sympathy. The president, moved by his loss, took him under his wing, further strengthening their bond of trust. Little by little, Nathan found himself among the highest circles of power, attending confidential meetings, exposed to sensitive files that were discussed in his presence without hesitation. Chapter 5, The White House in Crisis. As Nathan's influence grew, the White House was shaken by a series of international crises. Confidential information was leaking, fueling tensions abroad. Ultra-sensitive reports were appearing through unknown channels, causing friction with foreign governments. The intelligence services launched an internal investigation, trying to track the source of the leaks. No one even considered suspecting Nathan Carter, who had the president's unwavering trust. His image as a grieving widower and loyal patriot was beyond question. Chapter 6, Jack Donovan's Investigation. Jack Donovan, a disgraced former police officer, followed the case from a distance. He knew that murders like this were rarely as they seemed. Despite his past mistakes, something felt off. He delved into the investigation, analyzing every lead. Every suspect seemed plausible, every theory held weight, yet one detail troubled him. At every critical point in his research, one name kept reappearing: Nathan Carter. Not as a suspect, no. Just as a shadow, always lingering at the edges of events, always in the right place at the right time. A grieving husband, a model citizen, a man with no troubled past. But Jack had learned to distrust coincidences. Chapter 7, A Policeman with No Voice. As Jack gathered troubling evidence, he tried to contact the presidency. But no one wanted to listen. His past had discredited him. He had no access, no official channel through which he could raise an alarm. Every attempt to warn someone was ignored, his messages left unread, his calls redirected to dead-end administrative offices. Frustrated, he decided to act alone. He traced one last link between Nathan and old identities that did not exist in official records. But what could he do with such information if no one would believe him? Chapter 8: The Scapegoat. Jack's persistence eventually attracted the attention of government investigators. Convinced he was trying to mislead the case or cover his own past failures, they decided to put him under surveillance. His movements were monitored, his contacts scrutinized, until a decision was made: he had to be arrested. The charge was simple: attempting to disrupt a federal investigation and spreading false information in a national security case. Jack was taken into custody in broad daylight, without understanding what was happening. Chapter 9: The Escape and the Revelation. In prison, Jack managed to secure the help of a former informant he had once protected. Through an exchange of information about an active cartel, he negotiated a temporary transfer to an interrogation center. Exploiting a security loophole, he managed to escape and went into hiding. He knew he had only one chance: to prove Nathan's guilt before being caught again. While searching through one of Emily's old safes, he found a hidden USB drive. Its contents: a recorded conversation between Emily and an anonymous source. The man's voice in the recording? Nathan Carter. In the recording, Emily expressed doubts about her husband, accusing him of concealing information about his past. Hours later, she was dead. Jack finally had the proof he had been searching for. But now, he had to figure out how to expose it to the world without being captured first.